Iris's engagement ring had kept her safe for a while, but eventually, they both fell and ended. All of this was being dreamed by a girl named Stephanie, who was listening to a lecture in class. Suddenly, she startled in fear, and the entire class began to mock her. Lately, she had been having recurring dreams about a woman named Iris. Strangely, her grandmother's name was also Iris. However, she had never actually seen her grandmother, nor had she ever seen any pictures of her. Her roommate jokingly said, "Go home and find a solution." The next morning, Stephanie set out for home, and along the way, she saw a flashback of that incident again. Upon reaching home, she didn't tell her dad anything about the dream. She quietly started searching for her mom's old photo album, hoping to find some pictures of her grandmother, Iris. However, her dad had no knowledge of that album. Meanwhile, she met her younger brother Charlie, who was heading to their uncle's house. Taking advantage of this, Stephanie also went with Charlie to their uncle's place. On the way, she told Charlie everything, that for nearly 2 months, she had been haunted every night by the same terrifying dream featuring her grandmother Iris. Because of this, she hadn't been able to sleep properly, which was why her grades had dropped this time. If it continued, her scholarship could be at risk. But what could Charlie do after hearing all this? Their uncle had 3 children, Eric, Bobby, and Julia. After meeting them, Stephanie met her aunt and uncle. Her uncle was very happy to see her there. Then, Stephanie told them the reason for her visit. She said, "I want to ask you about your mother, Iris. I'm very troubled. The same dream keeps coming back. An old place. A restaurant called Skyview." Hearing the name Skyview, her uncle and aunt were startled. Her uncle said, "I heard that name from my mother, Iris, but you should stay away from her. She's mentally unstable." Stephanie insisted, so her uncle finally revealed the truth. After their father's death, Iris never let her or Stephanie's mother go to school. She kept them locked inside the house, threatening that if they disobeyed, everyone would die. Her madness grew so intense that the police had to intervene and take Stephanie's mother and aunt away from her. But Iris still pursued them. After the children were born, she sent terrifying letters containing news of death and pictures of corpses. When her uncle refused to answer, Stephanie turned to her aunt. Finally, her aunt told her that some documents related to Iris were kept in the drawer of the bedroom downstairs. Stephanie went there and found a picture of Iris. She was convinced the dream she had been seeing repeatedly was not someone else's, but her grandmother Iris's. With this information, Stephanie set out. After a long, lonely journey, she stood in front of a secluded house, with a big sign reading, "Go away. This is private property. No one is allowed inside." Despite this, Stephanie introduced herself, on camera, saying, "I am your daughter's daughter. I need to meet you and ask some questions." As soon as Iris heard this, her attitude changed. She confiscated Stephanie's phone and other belongings and called her inside. Seeing her granddaughter, Iris was very happy and said, "You received my letter. Maybe that's why you came here. How is your mom, darling?" Stephanie explained that her mother had left her when she was 10 and had been with someone else ever since, meaning they had been apart for years. Then Stephanie told her grandmother about the recurring dream. Iris said that what had been troubling Stephanie for 2 months was not a dream, but a premonition. Both. Years ago, before the violence at the Skyview restaurant, she had a vision of the future. The very next moment, when everything started to unfold as she had seen, Iris panicked. She warned everyone that the dance floor was going to collapse and the building was about to fall. She foiled Death's plan to eliminate them. That day, Iris saved everyone present at Skyview, but Death was not so easily defeated. One by one, those present at Skyview began dying in separate incidents. No one survived, not even Iris's boyfriend. But by then, Iris had understood Death's every move and never gave it another chance. She had been evading Death for years. However, now the circumstances had changed. This time, Death was going to win. Because 2 months ago, Iris was diagnosed with cancer And since then, Stephanie had been seeing those terrifying visions. It wasn't a coincidence. In fact, by rights, Iris's bloodline should have ended in that incident. In other words, death would no longer spare anyone related to Iris's bloodline. For years, Iris had tried to explain this to her children, but they misunderstood her, called her fears madness, and distanced themselves from her. Her grandmother then said, "I must explain everything to you through this book so that after I'm gone, you can take responsibility for protecting our family. But it will take some time to understand this book, so you must stay here." Stephanie said she had college to attend and even admitted, "I made a mistake coming here. It's all just a dream." Then she left the book behind. Iris quietly said, "So you don't believe?" To save her bloodline, after all, Iris. At that moment, Iris's condition worsened, and she screamed loudly. Finally, Stephanie realized that she should have listened to Uncle Howard and not come to Iris. That day was Iris's last funeral. Howard's mother was Iris. Howard had also informed his sister Darlie, and that was why Stephanie had returned home. After Iris's funeral, Howard held a small party at home. While they were preparing, Bobby accidentally dropped a glass, which broke. A shard piece ended up in the bar, and while making drinks, that shard went into someone's glass. Meanwhile, Stephanie had begun reading Iris's diary and started understanding everything. Suddenly, a photo fell and its glass shattered. A broken piece slid towards Stephanie. Iris had said, "If death gives a sign, do not ignore it." Stephanie understood and immediately left by car for her uncle's house. Meanwhile, Bobby and Charlie were jumping carelessly on a trampoline like children. Suddenly, the trampoline mat started to tear slowly, and right underneath them lay a sharp rake. They called Howard to join them. Howard was playing Jenga tabletop game with Julia, but left the glass table and went over. Just as they got on the trampoline, Dolly noticed the sharp rake below. Everyone thought she had averted a disaster, but it was another move by Death. Meanwhile, Stephanie had also arrived there. Suddenly, the trampoline mat tore, distracting Julia. The Jenga tower toppled onto the glass, breaking it and sending a sharp shard to the ground. Howard didn't pay attention and stepped on that shard. He agonized in pain and staggered. Then, the sharp rake slid and hit the switch of a nearby lawnmower, which started running. Howard stumbled under the machine and was fatally injured. In other words, every word Iris had said was absolutely true.